Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, Shotgun Shogun, and we are going to be going over the dev notes. Now, there were a couple little surprises in here for me. I was kind of hoping that we would get a haste buff, but you know, I think that's going to be a meme for a while. However, we did get a Roman Warrior Leo buff, and we're going to talk all about that. Melissa Ball and says in Aramintha, Roman Warrior Leo, Benevolent Roman yet again, Phyllis, who I'm actually excited for, Azalea, Chadley, and Chaos Inquisitor are all going to be getting buffs come the 6th. We're also going to be getting the Champ Zerato fix, things along those lines. So let's get into what we are going to be getting here. With this balance adjustment, we'll also make improvements to the souls acquired by all heroes. Additionally, we will correct the issue that caused certain heroes not to properly obtain souls or obtain an incorrect amount when additional skill is used. The target hero are shown below: Bell, Soul, and Hatan. And I don't know who uses Hatan at all. But that said, so they're going to be making improvements to all souls. They don't really say much here, I don't think, unless they explain it somewhere else. I don't know. So let's first off talk about Melissa. So previously, Might was the soul burn. Okay, now it's going to be Blood Bloom Awakened. Well, I guess they put just the Awakened, right? They didn't need to put the normal version in there. Save some space on their stuff, right? So this was Dispel All buffs. This is her S3. Before attacking by releasing their Pent-Up Aggression, cursing for 2 turns, with a critical hit, granting the caster an extra turn. Skill is unaffected by elemental disadvantage, blah, 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 blah. So this is going to just grant the caster an extra turn. No crit required. And the soul burn is going to ignore effect resist. So this is really, really good. Yeah, you don't have to, if you get anti-crit, anything along those lines, even a miss, you're going to get an extra turn. Now, if you miss, you're not going to get the curse, obviously, but yeah, no, that is pretty good. This does also dispel all buffs, even regardless of a miss, right? Although it dispels buffs from the enemy before attacking by cursing them for 2 turns. I wonder if the curse, somebody in the comment section, let me know. I don't use Melissa very often or much at all. Does the curse apply before the damage or after the damage? So if you miss, does the curse still apply? Because I've never seen whether it does or not. Somebody let me know. So the first hero we speak about in the balance adjustment is Melissa. Following the balance adjustment that was given to Melissa, further improvements will be made to Melissa's core ability to make her more effective and stable hero. First, the critical hit requirement, which was necessary in order to receive an extra turn for her skill Blood Bloom, will be removed. Melissa is a hero that requires her skills to be linked, especially in regards to manifestation, which should be used after Blood Bloom. Therefore, regardless of whether or not critical hit occurs, she will be granted an additional turn, which will allow her greater consistency in having an additional action. Well, of course, because you're going to get 2 whole turns. Additionally, her soul burn effect has been changed. Her soul burn effect, which was originally available when she used Might, has been transferred to her skill Blood Bloom, and its effect will be changed so that it ignores effect resist. So with this change, Melissa will now be able to reliably dispel all debuffs prior to dispel all buffs, not debuffs, prior to attacking and cursing her enemy. Being able to dispel all buffs from her enemy prior to attacking is a very powerful effect, and this will greatly increase Melissa's first turn with the curse debuff. So they make it sound like it is going to be odd regardless of miss, right? Because the attack happens after all of the other stuff. Anyways, somebody let me know. B and S. So Ghost Haunt. So before it summons an evil spirit to attack an enemy with a 35 to 50% chance to inflict poison for 2 turns. Now it's going to attack 2 enemies. So you're going to get a double attack. This means that he's going to be disgustingly good for the Grass Expedition. That's pretty much what you can use him for, because he'll get 2 attacks every turn. Just make him stupid fast, dummy fast. He'll attack both. you're good to go. And he's going to inflict poisons. So Ball and Sezin is one of the heroes that was with Epic7 from the beginning. We will be adjusted so that he can play a meaningful role to our heirs. With this adjustment, the performance of his basic skill Ghost Haunt and Dark Cloud will be improved. Yeah, they reduced Dark Cloud. The cooldown time required for Dark Cloud will be reduced by 1 turn, which after being skill enhanced can be lowered an additional turn, making it a 2-turn skill. This reduction in cooldown time will create positive synergy with artifacts that can also reduce the skill's cooldown time. In addition to this, Ball and Sezin's basic skill will be improved so it now attacks 2 enemies and will have a strong impact with the basic skill. That's actually pretty good. Like I said, going to be amazing for Grass Hunt because you're going to be able to hit 2 people. So honestly, make them fast and just hope that you get poisons on it. Early in the morning. It's been a hot minute since I got on a video. Anyways, Araminta, right? So Araminta's S2 sprinkles a catalyst, increasing attack of all allies for 2 turns. When an ally is burned, the catalyst will explode and deal damage to all enemies, making them unhealable for 2 turns. Now it's an attack. So this attacks all enemies with a catalytic explosion, making them unhealable for 2 turns before increasing attack of all allies for 2 turns. They're also going to increase the damage dealt, and Fire Pillar is also going to have its damage increased as well. The guarantee of Araminta's skill triggering will be increased. The skill Catalyst originally dealt damage to all enemies only when there was a burned enemy. We will remove this condition and make adjustments so that damage is dealt to all enemies when Catalyst is used. In addition, it will increase the damage dealt by Catalyst and Fire Pillar. Along with the various Fire Pillar effects, the increased damage dealt will deliver high abilities. I don't know that wording was correct, but regardless, let's go to Roaming Warrior Leo. So Fire Shock Bomb. This fires a shock bomb at the enemy with an 80% to 100% chance to increase skill cooldown by 1 turn. Now it's going to do all of that, but it's also going to decrease the skill cooldown of Go Raku by 1 turn. At the end of the turn, this also detonates bombs inflicted on the enemy. And then Go Raku, it attacks all enemies with Raku with up to 90% chance to plant a bomb for 2 turns. Now it's going to not only do that, but it's going to decrease speed as well. So they're going to be slower. So this way you can come through, you can plant your bombs, and then you can use Fire Shock Bomb right afterwards, detonate the bombs, and increase their skill cooldowns, reduce your cooldown of Go Raku, and detonate at the end of your turn. So if you're really quick and they're really slow, boom goes the dynamite. Here, we're happy to announce a balance adjustment for Roaming Warrior Leo, particularly for our heirs who have been requesting this improvement since literally the moment he came out. First, the skill Go Raku will have a 2-turn decreased speed debuff added, in addition to the actual effect of the decreased speed buff. This was also added to elongate the amount of time the enemy will be debuffed before they can have a turn and dispel their debuffs. Additionally, the skill Fire Shock Bomb will now reduce the cooldown of Go Raku by 1 turn, while at the same time detonating bombs inflicted on the enemy at the end of the turn. The enemy who has been inflicted with a bomb will immediately be stunned, as well as take damage, which will lead to more favorable battles in the future. Now, this, I think, actually is really good, right? Now, you only have 1 turn. Sure, can it be cleansed? Absolutely. But if you're running a control team, the damage, the stun is going to be really, really good. Do I think that's going to make Roaming Warrior Leo meta? No, I don't. But it's a good step in the right direction. The decreased speed is good, especially if you're fast and you can start lapping. We'll see, right? We'll see. All those Roaming Warrior Leo mains out there who have him plus 15 are rejoiced to this morning. They are singing praises to the heavens for the buffs that came. Benevolent Broman. Now, he already got a previous buff. He's going to get another buff. They're going to take his soul burn off of his S1. They're going to also increase the baseline combat readiness pushback by 5%, which is actually pretty solid. Now it's going to be 15 to 50%. So they're going to move the Soul Burn to the S2, right? So not only is he going to dispel one debuff, but he's going to dispel two debuff. They got me from earlier on. He's going to be dispelling two buffs before he has a chance to silence for 2 turns. If you Soul Burn, that's going to grant you an extra turn. Although I don't know that extra turning on him is really all that worth because, well, what are you going to do? S1 and then try to push back? I think that 20 souls for the chance to push back is going to be not very great, right? We would like to thank our heirs for all the opinions they have sent us following Benevolent Roman's adjustment, which occurred in April. Based on the feedback we've received from our heirs, this balance adjustment will further improve Benevolent Roman. When using mana fundamentals, Benevolent Roman will now dispel 2 debuffs from... See, they got debuffs too. 2 buffs from all enemies, allowing him more reliably silence his enemy than before. In addition to these changes, the Soul Burn effect for Mana Arrow has been removed, and instead a Soul Burn effect will be granted to Mana Fundamentals, which will grant an additional turn. This change will allow players to more easily trigger Mana Burst as the conditional requirements will be more easily met. Finally, the Combat Readiness Decrease effect for Mana Burst, which is part of Mana Arrow, will have its minimum value increased from 10 to 15%. So that's actually not too bad. I enjoyed running Counter Attack Broman. It was pretty fun. 2 buffs is actually really good because that means that Fallen Cecilia can't just dunk on you with the shield. And honestly, I think that in the future you're going to see things strip more than 1 buff. You're going to see 2 or all buffs gone just because of Fallen Cecilia. So moving on to 3 stars, we have Phyllis. And one of the things about Phyllis is I've actually been kind of looking at building her for a hot minute now. She seems pretty interesting, defensive unit, right? 3 stars, so you know I'm about that. But anyways, before Weakening Blow, this is going to deal damage increase proportional to the caster's defense. So that's going to be on there as well. Will increases the defense when attacked, increases defense of all allies for 2 turns. Every 4th attack received effect can only stack up to 5 times. Now, that was a lot, right? So that was 4 attacks, 5 times. That was quite a few attacks. So they cut that down to 3 turns, and they also increased the defense to compensate for that. So that's going to be pretty good. You're going to be able to ramp up that defense a lot faster. It's going to be pretty good. You get 2 turns. As long as you're getting some speed in, you're getting your attacks, you're getting your increased defense, it's going to be pretty good. I've actually really been thinking about Phyllis for a hot minute now as just kind of a defensive, kind of like a Fighter Maya type unit, but you know, without shedding the debuff. Maintain position, attacks the enemy before provoking for 1 turn, and grants a barrier to all allies for 2 turns. Damage dealt and barrier strength increases proportional to the caster's defense. Now, this is going to be pretty good. I do believe this is on a pretty short cooldown as well. So this is going to be great. Before it didn't provoke as well. So she's got a lot of provoke in her kit. With her S1 has a huge chance to provoke. I believe it's 75% chance. So that's really big across the board. Let's see what they said. Phyllis's defensive ability and those that protect allies were drastically improved. The damage dealt by Weakening Blow has been increased proportional to defense and increase in the caster's defense when the skill Will is used has also been greatly increased. In addition, the number of stacks has been reduced, allowing a greater amount of defense to be gained in less time. The skill Maintain Position will now grant barriers to allies and at the same time provoke the enemy for 1 turn. When attacked by a provoked enemy, Phyllis will be able to increase defense more effectively when the skill Will is used. So this is pretty solid. Expect to see me using her in the future, right? Azalea. So this is going to change sweep. They're going to sweeps all enemies with a spear with a 75% chance to decrease speed for 2 turns. Now it's going to not only do that, but it's going to decrease defense as well, and it's going to increase damage dealt here. So Let's see. An issue where the target of Azalea's skill sweep was translated as a single target will be fixed with the balance adjustment on 8.6. There are no functional changes made. The skill description in this balance adjustment are written based on resolved translation issues. So after the adjustments, she will be the only hero, 3-star hero, to decrease defense of all enemies through her skill sweep. The original debuff skill speed decrease will be maintained, allowing an effective attack that slows and defend breaks all enemies with a given probability. Apart from increasing the debuff, the damage dealt by sweep will also be increased. So if you are looking for a budget AoE defense breaker, this is going to be it. Now, she doesn't have a 100% chance. It is a 75% chance, but it's a chance, right? Everything's 50-50 anyways. So Chadley, I have recently used him in a Guild Wars video. You can go check that out just from the other day. So Mana Seal, before this, deals huge damage to all enemies with a sealing spell with a 50 to 75% chance to increase skill cooldown by 1 turn. It was 5 turns. Soulburn increased damage dealt. Now it deals huge damage to all enemies with a sealing spell with an up to 85% chance to dispel 1 buff before an 85% chance to increase skill cooldowns by 1 turn. They're also cutting the turn down by 1. And if you Soulburn, this is going to ignore effect resistance. This is actually really big. I personally liked the damage. It would be nice if they would have just added the extra damage in. He's a 3-star, but his mana seal will be improved. After attacking with Mana Seal, there will be an 85% chance to dispel 1 buff from enemies, and also has the same chance to increase the enemy's skill cooldown by 1 turn. This skill cooldown increase is applied after dispelling a buff, so even if the enemy has immunity or other protective buffs, Adelaide will still be able to increase skill cooldown after dispelling that buff. The skill cooldown has been reduced from 5 to 4 turns, and the Soulburn effect has been adjusted from increased damage to ignore effect, improving his stability. Since it is relatively easier to obtain a 3-star hero, we hope that the following adjustments will have him utilized in various situations. Personally, like I said, I liked the damage that he did. Wish they would have just rolled that in there. But, hey, ignore effect resist is still not bad. Okay, so Chaos Inquisitor. Lots of stuff here, right? Increasing a lot of the runes. A lot of the runes got increased here. So let's see, you're gonna get an extra 2, 4, 5% damage dealt with your enhanced runes, so it'll be 10% damage. 5, no, it's gonna be 15%, isn't it? No, I'm not good at math. 5, 6, 7, 8, 12%. It's early in the morning. We don't do math on this channel early in the morning. So increased combat readiness when buffs are dispelled by heavy strike. This is going to be a 25% chance. That's up another couple percent, 3, 5%. Okay. Before you had this is increase Preach's chance of activating heavy strike. So before it was a 20% chance, now it is a 50% chance. Wow, that's actually pretty huge right there, honestly. And then Relic Rune, increase the buff dispel chance of heavy strike when it is activated by Preach. Before it was a 30% chance. Now it is a 40% chance. So that's really good. We have made various improvements to the abilities of Chaos Inquisitor. After specialty change, we have increased the amount of damage dealt by the skill Heavy Strike. Additionally, we have increased the combat readiness when the enemy's buffs are dispelled by Heavy Strike. The most noticeable change is that we have compressed to 1 rune the 2 runes that would increase Preach's chance of activating Heavy Strike. The chance to dispel debuffs when Heavy Strike is activated by Preach has also been increased to a max of 100%. Chaos Inquisitor will now be able to dispel enemy buffs more effectively, and his abilities have been improved overall. Fantastic. Oh, hey, here's the soul improvements. So that's actually not bad. I actually put some gear on him yesterday during free unequip, so you might see him. You might see him around. Previously, souls were not acquired for most skills when the soul burn was used, but following these improvements, players will be able to acquire souls for all skills. This improvement will be applied equally to all heroes, and so when soul burn is used, players will still be able to acquire souls from the skill. Additionally, souls must be acquired as with the original skill, but when an additional attack is triggered, there were some skills that could not acquire souls or acquired a different amount of souls. We will make adjustments to such skills. The heroes that will undergo these changes are as follows. Bell, an issue where souls were not acquired when Windbreak Fan is triggered. After gaining 5 focus, an issue where Volcanic Viper, and when enemies were defeated with wind pressure. Again, not too sure how many people were using those, right? For soul, the number of souls obtained by when Volcanic Viper is used will be increased to 2. And then a whole bunch of skill descriptions just for more clarity. Lots of it. Not a single ML5 this round. Please consider Sage Ball and Sezin. He's super underpowered compared to almost every other stripper right now. And he doesn't even have a usable S3. Ink Cross. I do think that he needs some buffs, but I do think that, do we really want to go back? Well, actually, I don't know. I think that if they brought Sage Ball and Sezin back to where he was previously, I don't think he would be as cancerous, honestly, because it was a different game. It was a different pool of champions back then. It'd actually be interesting to see how original Ball and Sezin would do in this current field. What a boring balance patch. Literally might as well not even be there. Disagree. This guy mains Arbiter Vildred 100%. Aether Bulge, I completely agree. DJ Basar is way too overpowered. Nerf him 100%. Nice joke. He could be that top 10 player looking at his name, and if he is indeed that top player, then DJB could be rather oppressing in that tier. It might be worth to inspect the cause, or it could be a shit post. It could be a shit post. And I think that's what we're going to go with. That's what we're going to go with. But I do think overall it wasn't too bad. I like the changes to Benevolent Roman. Roaming Warrior Leo finally got something. I'm interested to check out Chaos Inquisitor and Phyllis. Araminta fans will be pleased with that. There were a few others. I really thought that Haste was going to get a buff just because we got the Haste banner. I thought that was going to move into a buff, right? But we'll see, right? They fixed the joke that was, well, they didn't fix him, but it'll actually be interesting to see if people build and use Roaming Warrior Leo. I doubt I will. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go try to wake myself up. I got a long day ahead of me. There's gonna be a couple videos out today. Look forward to a by the numbers for Moonlight Assyria, and I might try to pump something else out a little bit before the end of the day. So you'll have a couple of videos to watch today. As always, if you are here and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, I don't know why you haven't. Are you also an Arbiter Vildred main? Because that's what villains do. And you can always help out the channel by just liking, commenting down below, sharing this out. We will have a leaf pack giveaway. I'll probably put the information up for that this weekend. I'm pretty busy this weekend, but we'll probably try to get it out this weekend. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.